Thanks for joining us here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schnee. Tuesday night, May the 20th. This evening, we're hearing from state and federal fire officials on preventing the expected Utah wildfires and a real gut-wrenching update on one of our Utah's missing, Alisa Petrov. Before we get there, though, let's head on over to meteorologist Sean Kelly, who has our first alert forecast. Sean, are you by yourself right now?
I've got my pup Henry here. He's taken a bit of a breather right now.
Man and man's best friend here on Arc Salt Lake. I love it.
We both got the groom. You know, we're looking good.
Same place. Both of you are fresh tonight. I like it.
Different places. Kind of pretty close though on the street. But I want to get to the maps. I want to show you what's going on because we do have some changes out there. It's much nicer of an evening. We even saw some sunshine out there, a few sprinkles further up towards the north, some scattered rain showers into the Logan Cache Valley area. But that is drying out right now, and it is shaping up to be a wonderful evening up and down the Wasatch Front. 71 degrees right now, mainly sunny skies, northwest winds 9 miles per hour, but we've been finally seeing some sunshine, and we're finally getting closer to where we should be for this time of the year. Temperatures back up into the 70s, and it's going to be fantastic weather as we head into the evening. A little bit on the chilly side by tomorrow morning, back into the 40s and 50s. Coming up, Brian, in my first alert weather forecast, we're talking about the big change that we're seeing. We're going from the 70s to the 80s in a blink of an eye. We'll let you know how long that lasts and if we have a little bit of rain in the forecast. That'll be coming up.
All right, Sean, thank you. Could really pair well with what we're discussing here. Earlier today, state and federal fire officials addressed the plan for Utah's wildfire season. Preparedness is the key during this time as we are expecting a higher than normal chance at human-caused and natural wildfires across the entire state, really depending on conditions and how everyone behaves. First, we hear from Utah Governor Spencer Cox, who reminds us the depth of the California wildfires and how Utah is not exempt from the tragic possibility. Take a listen.
We've been pretty fortunate the past 5 years in that we've had significant snowpack, especially the last 3 years. We've had well-timed storms over those seasons, so our drought conditions have not been as high as they were 4 or 5 years ago. We've also significantly increased our prevention and our attack. And so we're leading the nation when it comes to attacking wildfires. 93% of our wildfires are put out before they grow to 10 acres, which is really incredible when you're looking at hundreds of wildfires every year. And it's because of the brave men and women that you see behind me and out here in the audience. That being said, I'm not convinced that's going to continue. At least the piece of us getting lucky with Mother Nature isn't going to continue, and we need people to really be careful this year. We'll hear in just a minute. It's hard to think about wildfire when it literally just snowed a couple days ago. There's still snow in the mountains. It's cool outside. The valley's green. It looks amazing. But if you look at the forecast, we're headed that direction. It's going to be dry and hot coming up very quickly, and it does turn very quickly. And so we've already had some big wildfires in our state. Well, not big, they were little because we got on them, but could have been big wildfires. So we need people to be especially careful right now. Also, I think it was an important reminder when we saw what happened in California last year. I just returned from California this morning and had conversations with some of the people who were involved back there with the wildfires. Still devastating. There are still places in California where you can't drive. You can't enter unless you have a special card because you have property there because of the devastation. Thousands of people who lost their homes, dozens of people who lost their lives, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen here. But let me assure you that it could happen here if we're not careful.
Well, some video for you from the height of the Altadena fire back in January. This was devastating to really the entire country, especially those who lost their homes and their peace of mind. Here in Utah, we have some of the best natural playgrounds in the world, meaning we have a lot to lose. Jamie Barnes, the director of Utah's Division of Forestry, Fire and State Lands, highlights the possibility Utahns face protecting our state from human-caused wildfires.
Utah is home to some of the world's most breathtaking landscapes. Red rock deserts, thousands of acres of forested land, and vast open spaces. But with that comes responsibility. As we head into another fire season, our top priority is clear: preventing unwanted wildfires before they start. We can't control lightning, but we can control sparks from vehicles, target shooting, campfires, and more. That's what Fire Sense is all about, and that's why we're here today. Awareness, preparation, and smart decision making. When we act with fire sense, we protect lives, we protect property, and we protect the places that we love. In 2024, Utah had more active wildfire season than in 2023 and 2022. 57% of the wildfires were human caused, a big improvement from 77% before fire sense began. That's progress, but we are not done. We cannot become complacent. 4 of the 5 largest wildfires last year in Utah were preventable. The best way to stop a catastrophic fire is to prevent it from starting in the first place.
Well, the top priority is good fire sense, so stopping fires before they start. Director Barnes mentioned we cannot control lightning, but we can control our campfires, target shooting, and vehicle sparks. So next, we hear from Chris Delaney, State Fire Management Officer from BLM Utah. He explains the different groups involved in this preparedness mission and why not one agency alone can do it alone.
We may wear different shirts, we may drive around in different trucks, but we represent this unified force that is committed to protecting lives and property and landscapes that bind us together. When a fire is reported, that call goes to one of the interagency dispatch centers here in Utah, staffed by professionals from the BLM, the Forest Service, Forestry, Fire and State Lands, National Park Service, and other entities. From there, the response isn't about who wears what patch. It's about who's the closest and who can get there the fastest. When crews arrive, you'll often see multiple agencies working side by side. We're all focused on the same mission, protecting people, communities, and the public lands here in Utah that we all call home. No one agency can do it alone.
So far this year, Utah has seen 157 wildfires burning about 1,000 acres. 135 of those are human caused. So what does this tell us? Well, most fires, as we know it, are quite preventable. So your actions matter, and the risk is real, and it's rising. Typically, we share a Utah's Missing update, new case, or topic on Wednesdays. But we have an update from South Jordan Police to share regarding the disappearance of 15-year-old Alisa Petrov. 2 men have been charged in connection to her disappearance. Although Alisa is still missing tonight, a man from Florida and a man from Texas have been charged with various crimes related to online conversations and child sex abuse material being shared. Police say both men communicated with Alisa prior to her leaving school on April 21st. Alisa was attempting to meet individuals that she met online using multiple social media platforms and chat applications. Matthew Nicholas Menard from Miami, Florida, has been charged by the Utah Attorney General's office here, and some of the charges actually include aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor, enticement of a minor, and criminal solicitation. So according to a search warrant that I obtained, Matthew knew Alisa was 15 and asked for some graphic media from her, planned to meet up with Alisa in Las Vegas. According to the warrant, Matthew told her he would fly to Vegas for a business trip, and they can fly to Los Angeles, spend a few days together before heading back to Miami, where Matthew lives. They discussed how they can travel without Alisa being tracked, and they discussed creating a false scenario where Matthew would tell people that she is his daughter. It's not clear if Matthew is in custody tonight, but we know that William Glines is in custody. Here's a mugshot for the second man, who is currently in custody in Galveston, Texas. Glines spoke with Alisa, knowing she was a juvenile. According to court documents, the two were messaging on the eve of her 15th birthday. I remember the quote from the document says, "In 8 minutes," Alisa wrote, "I will be 15. Glines also asked Alisa for graphic images. So Glines has been charged with 10 separate counts, including aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor, enticement of a minor. This charge, by the way, that aggravated sexual exploitation of a minor, is a first-degree felony here in Utah. Also charged with the other sexual exploitation of a minor charge and criminal solicitation. Glines, as we mentioned, is in custody in the Galveston County Jail. So it's not clear if both men are in custody tonight or just this individual who was caught in Texas. So going a little bit more in depth here, Texas City Police shared on May 9th the arrest of William Glines. They shared the investigation was initiated by a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Glines was identified as a suspect. He's also being held on child pornography charges. So tomorrow on Utah's Missing, right here at 7 o'clock, we'll discuss missing persons cases, specifically children or juveniles, with an officer from the Perry City Police Department in northern Utah. A really unique situation here where a parent was recently arrested on parental kidnapping charges. This was a case we were going to highlight for you, by the way, but we did not because of what happened. And we'll also go into the initial investigation when officers are tasked with a missing persons case. Really insightful, very interesting to hear from a small town police department. It's tomorrow night, right here at 7 o'clock on Utah's Missing. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, how the sudden birth of Utah twins led to the family's 140-day NICU journey and graduation of the year in today's Eye on Utah. May is known for graduation celebrations, but one tiny Utah grad's walk didn't happen at school or even on her own 2 feet, but rather in the arms of her parents as they left the hospital to go home for the first time. In our Eye on Utah today, Ariel Harrison shares how one family and a hospital community's resilience fared in the face of loss and heartbreak.
We both weren't surprised.
In the beginning, there were two.
We were like, of course, we're having twins as our first pregnancy.
Jody and Chris Kurz were still new to Utah when their twin girls, Sarah and Tandy, decided to make an early entrance.
Sarah came out. We heard her cry loud and clear. And then Tandy, we had a little bit of a harder time getting Tandy out.
The sudden birth marking the start of the family's 140-day NICU journey at Timpanogos Regional Hospital. And at just 23 weeks, the odds were stacked against them.
It is a bumpy, rocky road. Most of them won't make it.
Soon after, the family faced devastating news. Tandy's intestines hadn't developed properly.
Unfortunately, it was her entire intestinal tract that had not developed muscles. And it was genetic.
After multiple surgeries and weeks of fighting.
The first surgery was a miracle too, because the specialist that had done this before was on call on Thanksgiving.
Jody and Chris had to say goodbye to baby Tandy in December.
For 16 hours, she gave us, and which was really sweet because my parents were coming in from South Africa. And they got to meet her the day before she passed away.
Meanwhile, Sarah continued her own difficult battle. At one point, medical staff thought they might lose her too.
Within over a space of an hour or so, she just fell apart, and I was really concerned about her that she may not make it.
But despite the uncertainty, the Kurz family leaned on faith and the hospital staff who had become like family.
It's the weirdest thing to say that this is the largest blessing outside of my wife that I have ever experienced in my life.
Putting their thanks to song.
So we say thank you to the NICU for all your love.
Shortly after, little Sarah earned her cap, gown, and graduation.
She is done with the NICU, but I'm not. I'm not done with these people, with these friends.
The months-long journey, forever changing family and hospital.
We say thank you to the NICU for loving Sarah and Tandy.
In Orem, Ariel Harrison, KUTV 2 News.
We are always looking for people or stories to feature in our Eye on Utah segments. If you have an idea, contact the team. All you got to do is send them an email. You see the address on your screen. EyeOnUtah@KUTV.com. Hi, meteorologist Sean Kelly. Welcome back. Temperatures, you come good with good gifts if you're into like the ramping up of the heat here this time of year.
Yeah, everyone thinks that this is really nice. I think we can do better. It feels nice.
You were just telling me you're so ready to hop in the pool this weekend.
For some pool
I'm also
weather.
planning to do that, so
I love that the nice weather
that.
arrives just in time for the holiday weekend. A lot of people will be by the pool. But yeah, so this feels really nice because we're comparing it to that cold weather that we had. It's going to get even better than this. So let me take you to the forecast, show you what's going on out there right now. By the way, more sunshine after the bit of the cloudy start to the day. We'll take it. 60s and 70s across the Wasatch Front, and for much of the state here, it is comfortable. 77 in Milford, 73 in Cedar City, 85 right now in St. George, 58. The cool spot on the map there in Park City, Rock Springs at 54 degrees. Dealing with temperatures here across the state. Not bad. Winds, though, they could be better here. We could see lighter winds across the area, but we're seeing some gusty conditions from Evanston down through Duchesne, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts out of the northwest, and another severe weather outbreak for much of the southeast, the Tennessee Valley, up through the Midwest. Look at all this lightning here pushing out towards the east. Meanwhile, here at home, we've got quiet weather, mostly cloudy skies, a few spot showers that will continue to track here through the next hour or so from the Tremonton area into Logan, down through Brigham City, seeing some patchy areas of some drizzle, and then that's it. We're done with those rain chances. We've got plenty of sunshine tomorrow, plenty of sunshine over the next several days, but here comes our next storm moving in. Unfortunately for the weekend, this is going to be a weak sliding cold front bringing us just a few showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, and then it's out of here. The remainder of the weekend looking really nice. Even your Saturday plans are still good to go. You just want to make sure you have an eye on the radar. If there's a passing thunderstorm, you may have to briefly go inside and you'll be able to go back outside right after that. We've got 40s and 30s overnight, so it's going to be cold tomorrow morning, just not as cold as what we dealt with early this morning with those below freezing cold temperatures in many spots. Look at this warm up though. We're into the 70s, lower 70s for highs tomorrow, maybe even warmer than that in many spots with plenty of sunshine. You'll need the sunscreen over the next several days. An early look here, your Memorial Day weekend forecast showing temperatures anywhere from the 70s to the 80s. Sunday, Monday, definitely the better of the 2 days there with drier conditions. But St. George, I mean, come on, we've got hot weather here, pool weather, fishing weather, swimming weather, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be nice temperatures into the 90s. And then along the Wasatch Front, we're into the 70s and 80s here with some breezy weather Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but still looking really nice. And then next week, I mean, middle 80s. Let's keep it going. I think this stretch of weather is going to be looking perfect as we head into June. Believe it or not.
I know. I mean, time flies here, and obviously really can't ask for much better. So you're thinking Saturday is relatively mild of any impact?
Yeah. Very, very minimal, an hour or two that you may see some impacts. And then
if it changes, I'm coming for you.
That's right.
And how that goes.
Well.
All right, Sean. Looks good. Thank you. Coming up on Arc Salt Lake, the Masima Pacific Islands Film Festival returns to Salt Lake City. What you can expect from this year's lineup of films. Happening tonight, the Messima Pacific Islands Film Festival returns to Salt Lake City. The Salt Lake Film Society is helping to host that 3-day event at Broadway Center Cinemas.
Growing up, we've always kind of seen the same people playing the same roles, and we never really got to see ourselves reflected in film. To really capture your essence or your experience on screen makes a huge difference. It makes you more encouraged, more motivated to go out and do things, and also just empowered that you get to see yourself.
This year's lineup of films looks at themes of identity, resistance, family, and connection, all through the lens of creators and voices from Pacific Islander communities. A festival pass costs $15, while individual tickets cost $5.
New developments in Daybreak. The Salt Lake Bees officially opening their new team store. Team leaders held a ribbon-cutting ceremony earlier today ahead of tonight's game. The store is located right at the center field entrance. So until now, the team has only had pop-up stores throughout the stadium. Looks cool. I can't wait to get in there. You'll actually be able to visit that official team store even when the Bees are on the road. We're buzzing in the building tonight because we've got a special guest with us, Sean.
We sure do. We've got my pal Henry. I was saying earlier in the show that we both had some haircuts today. I just picked him up at his. Here, let's see, Henry.
There we go.
There we go. Sit.
He's all right.
Sit for me.
He does it
there
when
you
he. There we go. He's got it.
He's got his fresh cut. He's feeling good. He's ready for the hot summer days, and he's ready to go swimming, Brian. He loves to swim. He enjoys long walks on the beach.
This is not an adoption event here. You can't call right now and come away with Henry.
He likes to have a great time. He's a good patient boy, and he's sitting, just loves to be my coworker and do some weather.